It's September the 23rd, Thursday, 2004, and tonight Jason and Carrie and Hannah and Jessica are going to arrive, and later on in the evening Randy and Ben and Andy and Shelby will come, and tomorrow we will load up the truck, and Saturday we'll pull out. Of course, this is the outside of the house. And the yard. And here's the barn my dad used for a shop. Jason, not too long ago, painted it red. And here's where Mom burned the trash. And here's the back of the house and the deck. And the back side of the garage, of course. When I was a little girl, of course, this whole yard was an orchard. All of these trees were replaced all of the apple trees were replaced when I was little. And there are oak trees, and I don't remember what they all are. Maple, primarily, I think. No apple trees left, but this whole block was an orchard when I was a little girl. Mom, I'm going to ask you some questions, and you'll need to probably speak up a little bit about what this block looked like when you moved here.
It was pretty much a weed patch, but it had some nice apple trees on it, and some 6 persimmon trees. It was pretty grown up.
I thought it was an orchard.
Oh, it wasn't exactly an orchard, I don't think, but I don't know how many apple trees or fruit trees you'd have to call it an orchard. But there were probably 6 apple trees in here.
I remember when I was a little girl, there were always apples on the ground that we had to pick up.
We had to pick up the apples before we could mow.
Yeah.
It was a nuisance.
Yeah.
And it seemed like on the south side of the house, there was a more of a hill than there appears to be now. But remember the path that went up through into Johnson's yard? There were blackberry briars on each side. It was just a path, and it seemed to be a hill. Not a real steep hill, but a mound.
I think that fence may kind of hide it.
Well, and too, when Bud's basement was dug, I'm sure they used some of the dirt to fill in the low place and level it off.
Now, what year was it when you moved? We were talking about that today. Do you remember what year it was that you built the garage, that Dad built the garage that we lived in?
Well, it was about 46 and 47, because it was before you were born.
And the garage was a little white garage with green trim.
The garage was made out of concrete blocks.
But didn't we have it painted white, or was it green?
It was painted white.
White.
With some green trim.
And we had a kitchen and
Living room and bedroom and bath. the bedroom was where the garage doors were. The head of our beds, the crib and our bed also, was against the garage door,
Yeah.
that end of the house,
And we didn't have a bathtub, just a shower, right?
just the shower.
No, I remember that. And
It was a pretty cold house because the concrete block house with no insulation, pretty cold, and we had a big old wood burning stove. A warm morning, they were called. The stoves were a warm morning, and you could burn not only coal, not only wood, but we burned coal in it too.
And
Get up
it-
in the night and add some coal to the fire, keep it going all night.
and it was brown metal, right?
No, it was black, and
Oh,
it
was
had quite
it?
a little bit of chrome trim on it. They really fancied them up.
I was thinking it was brown. Now, Dad built this house when I was 3 years old, and did he have an idea? Did you have an idea about the style you wanted, and you went to an architect, or how did you?
Yeah, we had found a picture in I guess just a magazine. It had a house that we liked real well, and it was more house than we had. It was longer, but we took it to the architect at the Pal Stevenson Lumber Company, and he drew plans for it and figured, maybe the architect didn't do it, but the lumber company figured our lumber for it, how much it would cost. And we borrowed, you want to know the finances
Yes.
of it? Borrowed $5,000 to build it.
And when he started it, the basement was dug, and how did they dig the basement?
Well, with a machine, I don't know what to do called, something like on a tractor,
A backhoe?
I don't think it's called backhoe. That was what they used to put the dirt back in against the wall that caused the problem.
Okay. He hired it done though, right?
Mhm.
The
Oh, yeah.
basement dug. He hired that done. Do you have any idea how long it took to dig the basement?
No, I don't know.
And then he had concrete poured in the floor, for the floor of the basement. Did he
Yeah.
do that himself, or did he have that done?
Well, he had the concrete delivered, and then he finished it off.
So he mixed the concrete no,
No.
it was poured out of a cement truck,
Yeah.
and then he spread it,
Finished it.
and he laid all the blocks himself, didn't he?
Yes.
And do you have any idea how long that took him to lay the walls?
I don't remember how long it took him, but he was working at Commercial Solvents, 9-to-5 job. I just use that as an example. I don't know, it wasn't actually 9 to 5, but what I'm saying, he had a full-time job, and he did this evenings. He would come home and hurriedly change his clothes into work clothes and get out to do something to the house.
Mm-hmm. But you don't remember how long it took him to do any of that?
I don't.
Do you remember what month he started the house?
I don't remember that either.
And of course the house is a frame house, right? Did he have anybody who helped him with the concrete blocks or with the framing?
I don't think he hired anything done then.
He did it all,
He did it all.
even the hardwood floors?
Oh yeah, he did hardwood flooring.
And they were like tongue and groove, weren't they? And the woodwork, did he buy the woodwork already done? It's already that shape.
Yeah.
And then you don't remember if he stained it before he put it up, or?
No, I don't remember about that. I remember that he borrowed Avon's miter miter box, so he could miter all the corners, you know, of the woodwork.
Uh-huh.
But of course, before he got too far along with the frame was when we had the big heavy rain and the basement wall fell in. But he had house on it.
I didn't remember that the house was on it when it fell
I don't
in.
remember just what condition it was in, just how far along it was, but it was far enough along that they were awfully afraid the house was going to fall into the basement when the wall gave way.
Mm.
And it, he had the neighbor men come. They all came to help. And they rolled up the mud with their hands in balls that big and threw it out because they couldn't shovel it out. It wouldn't get off of the shovel.
Mm.
They tried to shovel and that didn't work. It was just that gooey, ucky, mucky mud that they rolled it up with their hands and threw it out.
And then he went to bed and cried.
When he heard the wall fall in, we heard the noise and he went to see what had happened and he saw what happened. And then's when he came back and got back in bed and cried.
Oh.
And then he kind of got hold of himself and he said, I can't lay here, I've got to do something, the house will go in. So Ed Richardson and his boys and Chiz and Pam and Huck and Everett Evans all came.
What time was it? Was it at night?
It was at night.
And they worked in the night.
Mm-hmm. We brought jacks and put under the wood, you know, to jack it up, hold it up.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, the wall had to be laid back.
Uh-huh.
Some of the wives came and brought food. Men worked, and as I remember, they had some laughs about it too, but Herman didn't do much laughing.
Mm-hmm. I remember Daddy crying, and I was a little girl. Do you remember what month it was when we moved in this house?
Yes, we moved in January.
Oh, that's right. You said that today. January 1st,
Yeah,
1951.
Mm-hmm.
Polly was a few months old.
Yeah, from August till January.
Uh-huh.
And we just had the downstairs finished. The upstairs wasn't finished. It was just unfinished. No walls.
When Dad built the house, did he have a table saw?
He had a table saw, a good hand saw.
And of course, no electric drill, no electric hammer, nothing like that. Just the table saw. Do you know if he cut the boards for the hardwood floor by hand or on the table saw? Probably the table saw, wouldn't he?
I don't think he would have sawed the hardwood by hand.
Probably couldn't
I
have.
think it would have been too hard. The hardwood floor was pre-finished floor, you know. It was Bruce flooring.
Oh, uh-huh.
It was pre-finished.
So when he got it laid, it was done.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What was our first linoleum like in that kitchen? Was that gray and pink stuff?
No, it was red.
Oh, it was. I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Red, kind of a mauve figure in it.
And the opening between the kitchen and the living room was a big arch.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how wide, but I would say about 4 foot wide.
Uh-huh.
And oval at the top, you know.
Like the door into the hallway.
Same thing.
And Dad didn't make the cabinets?
No, Ed Richardson made the cabinets. And it wouldn't take any pay for it. That was his contribution.
Oh.
And Ed and his boys plastered the house. You know, in order to plaster, they had to put up lab, you know, which is little narrow boards. And they don't put them real close together. They leave a space, and then they plaster on top of that, and that took a long time.
Uh-huh. The whole downstairs is plaster, right? And the upstairs is,
It's finished with wallboard.
uh-huh. And when I was a little girl, when we first moved in here, we had the hardwood floors with rugs, right? And your bedroom was what became the den, and our bedroom was the other bedroom. Did Polly sleep in there in a crib right away? I mean, she had, or a bassinet.
I think her bed was in the living room. I think she slept out in the living room.
I remember her being in the living room in the bassinet when I
I don't
climbed
remember,
up there and fell in on her.
I don't remember her being in your bedroom with you at all.
Yeah, I do later, but not for a while. And then, how old were we when Dad finished the upstairs?
Well, you were about 12 or 13 when he finished the room up here in the west room.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jill was coming to live with us to go to beauty college. And we
Oh,
finished
yeah.
that room for her to have a room. And she just thought it was great. And you were so jealous of her because you wanted it for yourself. Couldn't wait for her to get through with it and leave so you could have that room.
But when I moved upstairs, wasn't I in the east room first, and then I got the west room and Polly got the east room? Seems as though the first room I had was the room on,
Now, I don't remember you ever been in that room.
I think maybe
You
I
were
was.
just in the west room all the time that I can think of. And we couldn't get a double bed up the stairway because it won't turn the corner, you know. So they took coil springs, mashed them flat as they could, and tied them. And finally got them up the stairs that way. And of course, the mattress folded up. It was just an old cotton mattress. It would fold up to go up the stairs all right. But now I can't remember what kind of a bed you had up there, whether it was a...
I remember it was that speckled paint, and it had sort of an oval center piece and posters.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that too.
I don't know whatever happened to it, but
I'm sure it was a horrible bed as far as sleeping on was concerned, with those old coil springs and that old felt mattress, horsehair mattress or whatever they put in them,
I don't know.
but no inner springs. And
Mom?
you had a little white dressing table, remember, that had arms on it that came out, and we made a
Skirt for it.
together and skirt for it.
I thought it was so wonderful.
And you had a little seat that we bought somewhere that had a little brass back on it, remember?
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't remember what else you had in the room. I suppose you had a chest of drawers.
Isn't that chest of
Oh,
drawers
I guess
that's...
that's the one that was upstairs.
Yeah,
that we
I
just
think
got
that's
rid
the
of.
one. Mom, what has been your favorite part of this house?
You know, wherever I had my family, I think. I always liked to go to bed and feel like everybody was upstairs in bed. It was like an old hen getting their chickens under her wings at night. That's the best feeling when they're all under the same roof.
This is Mom and Dad's bedroom, and this is that room is emptied because we're getting ready to pack the truck. Gonna take a quick look at the cedar-lined closet. I don't know if it's even visible. There. And this is the den. This is Mom and Dad's bedroom when we first moved in. Of course, there are all the boxes. But this later became the den. this is the bathroom. These are the stairs Polly and I would bound up and bound down. And we knew where all the creaks were. And this is the west bedroom. This was the room where Jill stayed when she came to live with us, my cousin Jill, and went to beauty school here. And this was my bedroom when I moved upstairs. I had a double bed in that corner and a dresser over here, or a vanity actually, that had that skirt on it Mom and I talked about. And I don't remember what else I had up here actually. But I loved my room. And this is the big closet at the top of the stairs where we talked about putting a bathroom one time. I don't know if that was ever a possibility or not. Even the floors up here are wood, although we had carpet in the bedrooms. And this is the room that was Polly's room. I honestly don't remember what her furniture was. I think she might have had the twin beds. I just don't remember what her furniture was. But this was Polly's bedroom. And these are the headboards that go with the furniture that I have in my bedroom that Dad refinished. And Ben's going to use them. This is the front door from the inside. This is the living room, sort of empty of furniture. And this is the kitchen. The cabinets made by the neighbor across the street. Dad didn't make these. The table and chairs have been sold, so they're gone. And the walls don't have the shelves on them anymore or any pictures. But this is the way it looks today on Friday, moving day. And this is the basement. There's Mom putting in some wash. Washing up the sheets. This is the wall that fell in. Boxes everywhere. This is where the first furnace sat that was a coal furnace. And this room that later became the bathroom was the coal room where the coal was stored. Dad stored it in here and then put it in the coal furnace with a shovel. I just made this skirt for that sink for showing the house.